China has become a lot harder with the new DLC, but today I will show you a good way to win with a good mix of old and new strategies. So without further ado, Araman, historical, and go. So for everyone who hasn't played yet, you might ask yourself now, why is China so much harder? Very easy. We have less land, less equipment, but more troops, meaning our cohesion is not that great. We also have quite the big amount of negative modifiers, and fixing them is generally quite hard. The last one here, this is actually a good modifier, even though it takes away a big amount of our industry, because we get political power, and political power is quite important with China. So there's actually an argument to keep this one around the longest. This is actually quite helpful, especially because we don't have a big industry, so it's just a little bit of amount of factories we lose from this, at least for now. But yeah, focus tree wise, I will be going down the historical route today, just because I think it's a good starting point, and it is actually one of the harder routes to go down this path, because you are basically as China on your own. But it's actually two quote-unquote historical routes, alternative historical route where another general takes over, and this guy's actually not too bad. Down here even gets political power, super nice, and you can buy yourself a bit more time, but we will not be going down his route today. We'll be going down with Chiang Kai-shek, the historical focuses. And yes, with all the focuses we have, I'll be starting with the political ones, even though we have a lot of industry to fix and army. But trust me, the biggest problem we have with China is time. We don't have any time. What I do want is some artillery, some trucks, and a lot of guns. I would put most of this into guns. Actually, what I also want, and nearly forgot, is anti-air. We will not have an air force, but having some anti-air is actually good. Two reasons: we get soft attack, and on top of that, we shoot down the air force. Win-win. Industry, I'm just gonna build mills. We need mills. I'm gonna build them back here, because I can't guarantee that we will hold everything perfectly. The China war is very chaotic now, I guess fitting the channel. Research, we are very limited with 2 research slots, so I'll go down faster production of stuff and better guns. We need better guns. And yes, I could just go down Space Marines, but 2 reasons I will not be doing that. Firstly, we don't really have the time. Secondly, I don't want to use them as a solution for everything. It's kind of boring. I want to do different things, so we'll be doing less Space Marines. So first political focus is done. I will immediately go down to Mr. Chiang Kai-shek and denounce feudalism, making everyone a bit angry, but giving us more political power per month for every puppet we have. That's good. And an advisor that I will probably not use. What I will do is I will yoink these trains over here, because I want 3 trains, and that saves me 1 industry slot to build trains, and we have more than enough trains with this. Trade-wise, I don't like to do this normally, but using massives for importing might be more efficient than using them to build right now. We have a lot of negative buffs, so I will be importing steel. Plus, we need a lot of guns, and lack of power doesn't really influence our production yet, so I will not import any coal, even though we're missing a bit. But like, it's such a low... I mean, the modifier is so low, it's literally gone. It's not here anymore. So yes, we're missing coal. No, it's not impacting our production yet. And you see that when you hover over how fast you produce it, lists all of your production output modifiers, and you would see coal here, which we don't. Anyways, feudalism is denounced. I would say let's get the Chinese United Front to have that out of the way. One nation, undivided. I mean, I don't want to be the person saying this, but it's kind of divided. So we have enough political power. I will get myself the silent workhorse for the sole reason that we need political power. The more the better, really. Be a little bit careful with him, because you can only have him with certain leaders. So if you go down the alternative history route of the historical route, just don't take him. You will not keep him. There's another cool guy here, which is a little bit worse, because he doesn't give a percentage of political power, but a fixed amount, which is less, but still good. And there's other people that also give you political power, but that's fighting with ideology, so yeah. Talking about fighting with ideologies, I might actually want to fight with some ideologies here and use my early political power for that. Because right now, we're gaining fascism support, and I searched very long for where we get it from, until I just read, oh, it says Chiang Kai-shek. Yeah, he gives us that support. And we get communism support from the neglected countryside, which means we kind of also need to work on that. Sooner than you might think, but yeah, it will take quite a while to fix that. So this focus is done, giving us our faction and inviting every Chinese warlord to join. Not everyone will join normally. Some will say no. Actually, everyone joined. Okay, that is... I never had this before. I'm gonna be honest. This is the first time everyone joined. Who's not joining for now is Communist China and this region over here. They will just not join, but you will be able to annex them later, specifically when they get invaded by Japan. And Xinjiang will join later too. They will just ask you. What we need to do for now is fix our army, but before we can do this, I want to get this going. Extend compulsory education. Together with this, it's 70 days, so super quick, and this over time, every 180 days, so half a year, it's quite a long time, fixes the modifier until it's gone. So you do this focus once, and then it quietly works in the background for you. So I'm gonna take that. We'll do something similar over here with the inefficient economy, but because this works quite a bit faster and takes way longer to get there, we will have to do this later because we need to reform our army. The Japanese come super soon. Also, with the faction, we unlock this over here. Doesn't directly state it, but it exists. Integrate the warlords, where you can use two resources. One you know, one that might confuse you. The one you know is obviously political power. This costs a lot of political power, but also faction influence. And if you don't know what faction influence is, it's this here. It's the 56% we have. And it's not easy to get this back, so when you want to sway them, you better make it count, and they will not really say yes until you're strong enough. So in the early game, if I would immediately click it as soon as I can, I would kind of waste it. The chance that some say no is very high, but if you're already involved with the Japanese and already have quite the army in some industry, they will all say yes. So I do recommend taking the weaker ones first and wait for the Japanese war. So we will do this later. It's not like we can click it right now anyways, but you could have saved your political power from the advisor to do it immediately. I just don't recommend doing that. Plus, there's also some events where we'll annex some warlords for free, so don't pressure yourself. You have time with that. And with this focus done, giving us some political power, reducing our corruption a little bit, which is kind of bad, not gonna lie, you know, we lose political power, the bad ending, but we can do this one over here. And it even gives us some research support, which is not that important right now, but I'll take it. Over here, two choices. Either we go ourselves, and then we will die. This is for the other paths. We want to survive, and we will put pressure on them. They will fold, and we get a free puppet. So this is what I mean with over time, you will get some warlords for free anyways, so don't bother yourself with puppeting that. What you also unlock now, in a second, is integration efforts, giving your puppet a spirit so they lose daily autonomy for a year. That's quite a bit. And I gotta be honest, I don't immediately care about this right now. I don't need to integrate them immediately. There might actually be a good argument not to do it, specifically with that puppet, but I do want to grow my puppets for a reason we'll go into a bit. For now, I will just strengthen my political power again with leaders like him, meaning we get 2 political power a day now, which is double what everyone else gets. But to be fair, this entire focus tree is very political power driven. Same actually with communist China, so you tend to get a lot of political power with those two nations. And with this focus done, we now have at the bottom here, in a second, there we go, this over here, where every 180 days, this modifier gets better, plus we even get 1 random bonus for research. Kinda cool, but that's why I wanted to start this earlier, because the earlier you start this, the better. What we need to do right now is fix our army. We really do. And the army reforms are kinda cool, so I will talk about them in a second. I will also do anti-communist raids now, because they're getting a bit out of hand. And yes, we can actually start integration right now, meaning they get this modifier for a year, which is super nice for decreasing their autonomy. And yes, you might already spot that they get a unique puppet type. With both of these puppet types, you don't get anything great, but you only need to decrease autonomy once, and then you can already annex them. So there's only 2 puppet types. The one they already are, which is a warlord subject, then the one they become, an integrated warlord subject, and then you can already annex them. Choice right now, in the military focus tree, either we go down in the middle where there's some good reforms, and we will do that in a second, but more importantly, do you want to have attack bonuses, or do you want to have defense bonuses? If we do any of these choices, we can't do the other one until we do the last focus down here. So if I take this defense bonus over here, I can't reform my army to be better at attacking until I finish this here. And I gotta say, with early China, in historical, defense is just way better. You need defense. You will not be very offensive. And not at the beginning. At the beginning, you will fight for your survival. If you look at your army, you currently have minus 15% defense. That is not good. You want more. Even entrenchment is worse. So fixing that even before the Japanese attack, I recommend that very much. Anyways, as my last leader, I'm gonna take this guy over here for the sole reason that he gives stability, and we kinda need stability. Yes, you could take some other advisors for political power or some other stuff, but I also don't want to fight democratic support right now, so I'll just take stability, which has a lot of good modifiers anyways. There's factory output, there is consumer goods factory factor, there's more political power in stability, so it's a good mix of everything to keep that up. These warlords now will fight it out, and I can already spoiler you, Xinjiang will win, because the Soviets will help them. Doesn't matter though, because they will still join our faction, and later on we can pressure them in. It's fine. Might also take the army maneuver specialist, because I would like some army experience. We also got this invitation, basically discussing if the communists should join, and we will of course let them join, so they can become part of the meat grinder too, and as long as they're in a faction with me, they can't attack me, buying me time. Yes, they can infiltrate me, and yes, they can screw me a bit over, but for now, they can't attack me, which is good enough. I'll take that. I think I will also delete like a third of my army, because it's just unrealistic to get them all. Plus, I will turn my entire army into this template over here, because that is basically the only good one we have. I might also look in the international market for some guns. No one is selling me guns. This is so sad. The Netherlands tend to have a lot of guns, and Belgium. So I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, there you go, a little bit. First two reforms are done. Our military is already looking a bit better. Still horrible, but a bit better. I would also say we should reform our supply usage over here. So we'll go on the middle focuses now for more org, more recovery, and less supply consumption, plus more range. We currently have negative modifiers for supply consumption, which you might think is kinda bad in China, but after these reforms, they will actually be positive, which we need. Also, this puppet over here asks for help. I recommend just turning them down, because we will be defeated anyways. Plus, then the Soviets like you more, and the Soviets liking you more is a good thing, at least short term. So I'm using a lot of my factories right now to just buy guns in the international market. Does it make a big difference? No, really not, but might be enough to just look a bit better at the end of the day. Also, yeah, we're continuously going down these focuses. Very nice. So I'm gonna do something a bit risky for the whole reason that they tend to say yes a lot. I'm gonna ask Yunnan to be my puppet, and they said yes. Okay, great. And why are puppets so great here? It's because I can use the units. So I can right click, request forces, and I'm gonna request all of the units with both of my puppets, giving me 24 units, which is not a lot, but it's 24 units I can use for defense on my coast, meaning that my good army can concentrate on fighting the front line. And yeah, Japan is already attacking us. It is happening basically now. It is not looking good. This is happening very fast now. So we also get a bit more recruitable population, and yes, we need that. If you look at our army modifier, we had minus 80%, meaning we get 20% of our manpower pool. That is not good. So a huge manpower debuff for China in this, but yeah, we shall survive. I would also take the monopolistic bank right now, just because we get some consumer goods back, meaning we can use more of our factories. And there we go, the Marco Polo bridge incident. Our military is not prepared, but when will it ever be? So yeah, let's click this. They immediately declare war on everyone up here in the north. All enough who they don't declare war upon right now is my puppets. So this coast piece is safe for now. The rest of the allies will join, which is good because we need them. And yeah, we should have this. I'm just gonna call in Communist China so they can't dodge this. Good. In the background, we will do more and more army reforms, fixing the spirit more and more, and we already fixed it quite a bit. But yeah, there will be a lot of dangerous things very soon, and I hope we can get more and more guns. We're still in a big deficit, but I gotta be honest. Might actually need some more units to fix it, but I gotta be honest, it looks way worse normally. Oh, by the way, that is bad. Blast these. There we go. They took Beijing, meaning those capitulated. I can now annex them, meaning they don't exist anymore, and if we reconquer those provinces go to me. What I will do now is redraw this defensive line in a way where we might get a better result if we are fast enough. And trust me, the Japanese are very fast, so this might not be the case. But yeah, we actually got it. We have the supply up. Okay, they immediately took it. It's not looking good. Anyways, at the beginning, the Japanese will just overrun you pretty hard for all the obvious reasons, mostly that we don't have any guns. But all that we can really do right now is try to hold them off as long as possible while we fix our army, which is easier said than done. Okay, they have this supply up now. I'm just gonna retreat from here. It's all about holding realistic defensive lines, especially at the beginning. And when they land over here, the chances of us being able to hold them back now that they have supply and we can't push them back at all anymore, super low. Oh, and they immediately catch me with submarines. That is annoying. Anyways, we can annex the next person over here. And there you go. Next naval landing. Super important here. Hold this. Them getting this would be horrendous. I don't mind them getting this, but also opening a front over here would be super bad. So we will just encircle them. I'll hope that my puppets will build more units in the background that I can protect the coast better. But for now, we have what we have. And what we have is not a lot. With these reforms being pretty good right now, what we need is this. When the war started, we unlocked this over here. And it's the fastest way to get mills. We need more mills. We need a lot of things. And over here, we get, if we take all the focuses, 7 mills. So we do this. Also, will ask the Northeastern Army to be my puppet. And they said no. Yeah, this is bad news. That means we have to do something else with them later. And you might have noticed we only get 40 political power back. So this is super expensive. As for doctrines, we unlocked this over here with the focus. We're at least starting to level up a bit over here. But it will still be quite some time before this is really good. At the same time, I'm also falling more back because if they just kill me faster than I can retreat, I'm losing guns. Oh, and that's really good. Xinjiang wants to join, let them join. Oh, they survived. I've never seen them survive before. Crazy stuff is happening. So we built some trucks. I will allow them to use 1 level of trucks now, which is enough, meaning we have decent supply over here. And that's the main strategy. At the beginning, just fall back. Don't lose too much guns. Reform your army. Right now, I'm missing a bit of steel because I'm buying too much in the world market. Let me change that. And there's a big naval invasion over here. That's why I'm not using too much of my command power and political power to integrate all of this, because I would like it to just do some last stands while our Coast Guard is a little bit weakened to reinforce the port they're landing in. They can land next to the port, that is fine. Actually, welcome that to a degree, because it's 3 kills, but I don't want them to actually land in the port. Yeah, good kills over here. We can even let them land in here to get rid of that. And super important to mention here, every time we destroy one of their units, it hurts them a lot. Every time we lose a unit, it's not as bad. For us, mostly this is a equipment game, not a manpower game. Yes, we're not amazing with manpower, but we can fix it easier than anything else. I just also noticed I've endless political power, so we go on war economy now. I will get this dude now. I will give myself an infantry advisor, and then we go for the army regrouping guy. That was a mistake on my side. Do that earlier. A little bit more time has passed. I'm holding out strong. Went down a few more focuses, and our industry is starting to look pretty good. I did start to import coal now, and I asked another clique to join. He said no. So with my luck, you will do better. If you play like this, you will do better. But with the 2 cliques we do have and all of the volunteers they sent me, or to be more precise, their expeditionary forces, always forget it's called like that, we have quite a good Coast Guard, and I'm really using it to thin out the Japanese by just allowing them to do naval invasions on me and destroying troops. Also, the problem steps in a situation over here where they're bad on supply, so once I have a bit more guns, I might just push here. And yes, gun research, very important. Ooh, the Hungarians are selling a lot of guns, and best of all, without convoys. The Albanians too. I'm gonna buy these 2. Bring us down to 0 civs to build, but we need that. Anyways, let's do the last focus down here, giving us free repair, war support, and 2 more mills. I'll take that. Support equipment, I guess we can go down to the engineering corps, or... No, I'm gonna upgrade artillery. We need artillery. And yes, we are slowly but surely catching up with guns. They mostly stopped attacking us for the sole reason that they just ran out of steam. They have a lot of power at the beginning, but once you really grind them down, you have the upper hand, especially for supply reasons. And very important, the only reason these units over here are not starving is because they have some truck supply. This is, by the way, why we built the trucks. And because we actually have some positive modifiers for supply. This is why these reforms are very helpful. Talking about it of political power again, we get so much political power, it's super good. Also, I will go to limited conscription, just that I don't forget, because you just noticed I forgot a lot. Yeah, might actually do a risky push over here, but it could pay out, and we could do a cheek encirclement. Pin here, and yeah, we actually did it. Encircled. Gonna take you from all sides. And yeah, they're really trying to break through here now, for this whole reason that the AI is very aggressive about saving their units, which makes sense. So you should encircle this as soon as possible. New naval invasion over here. Let's support this as much as we can. Very good. Our doctrines are leveling up in the background. I gotta say, I love this new system. Not needing to think about doctrines all the time is great. You might notice it with advisors that they tend to forget stuff. So these units are gone. Very good. I'm allowing these troops over here to land. It's my go-to move for naval invasions. Next to the port, they will probably attack something, which will unentrench them. And once this naval invasion failed, we can use this to attack them even more. Attack them from all sides, even though they have way better sets than us that should just kill them. Nice. We also regain some land over here, a better defensive position. And yeah, this is how I'm gonna do this. Chip away from the Japanese units and hold out until they are really screwed. After I'm done with this, I might do some more army reforms. But to be fair, the political reforms are also very important. Also, this reform over here for fixing our economy is kind of important too. TLDR, there's a lot of things we should do and not a lot of time. But you know what? Let's get this modifier. Okay, really bad moment. They glitched himself into the port. What I have to do now is force attack and kick him out. Yeah. Sometimes they just, I don't know, the Japanese at the beginning are super strong, especially because of an air force and we don't. But some force defense and force attack really can save you, so try to keep some command power around. Anyways, anti-communist and anti-fascist raids. Let's go. You can also decrease the autonomy of a league. I will do that because it's one step closer towards annexation. Yeah, those naval invasions can be super dangerous. I just recommend getting all the local Coast Guard units close by to help out and save yours. Goodbye, units. Nice. Losses so far. A lot in my faction, mostly from the communists, funnily enough. But I have the most war participation. Not a lot of losses, especially compared to Japan. They have a lot of losses, especially to me. So yeah, this tactic is working. You can't just do wave attacks right now. We just don't have the guns. Funnily enough, we have some guns. I will reduce my gun production now. Now that we have the luxury of having some stuff, I will change priority strategy and build more units, plus go more into artillery and anti-air. This is gonna be needed. Plus, we can even increase our motorization use. And yes, we still have enough trucks, so this is fine. And you see how thin the lines partially go. The only reason they have so much units over here is because they probably have a push plan. So yeah, they have weaknesses. See, this is why they didn't defend the north. They just starved themselves to death anyways. And funnily enough, the Great Wall held them. It does actually have a defensive bonus. So that is funny. And yeah, new naval landing. You know the drill. Stop them from landing. Weaken a port. That's very good. They already gave up. Let the other one land and kill. Nice. Just be careful with this one, because the only reason we're able to defeat them right here is because they have no supply. If they would land, because you didn't weaken the naval landing on the port long enough, you might feel the consequences in terms of not being able to push them out anymore. So yeah, we don't want to lose this. This is good industry over here, serving us very well. Actually, there's just a few civs here, but they're still good, okay? And our military is still horrible. Anyways, we did introduce an income tax, sadly losing us some corruption. Let's fix the inefficient economy. But yeah, we don't need desperate defense. Yeah, let's do grand assault. It fits China. So new naval landing. Goodbye. I did actually spot that we can potentially push a bit. Yep, we can. Feels a bit crazy, but I'll take the opportunity. We're also fixing inefficient economy now. Could do China reborn, but I don't think we need that. For this year, we need to be at war with Japan. It's a lot of good choices, but these focuses are very much down. I don't think we have problems with production anymore, even though the permanent modifiers here are super good. But I think I really just want to unite China in the background and get that rolling. So this focus over here for more recruitable population, but longer training time, with the alternative being this, where we get more mobilization speed and more war support, which I both don't need. But good success over here. We encircled all of these units over here. We got rid of all of these units. We had very minimal losses, and once we catch up with artillery, which is my next big project here, maybe I should stop being so greedy and building new units. I don't actually need this much yet. We can introduce artillery to our armies. And yeah, it's 1939. Some time has already passed, but we used the time very effectively to get out of a very deep gun deficit, build up an industry quite the size, and we are catching up with Japan, who just has way more industry way quicker, and we've already reformed a lot of our nation. I think inefficient economy is the only thing we still have really holding us down, and we just started fixing that. The army is way better, and this is still bad, but money. Neglected countryside is way better, doesn't even give communist support anymore, and we get some extra bonuses against the negative modifiers, and those stay, so that's nice. Nice encirclement over here, and yeah, that's why I want to start to unify China, because I do think this war doesn't go on for much longer. I gotta be honest, I think we got this. They did try to do a naval invasion in the background, but they're currently so weak they can't even really land anymore. I will still allow them to land partially, but more for me bullying them for landing than actually me not being able to do anything against it. Yeah, these units are gone. These units over here are also very soon gone. Last stand. I've never seen Japan do a last stand. I think that run so far really good. When Japan does a last stand against China, you know you're doing well. And just to remind you, I have 0 air force. I have just no air force. The only thing I'm building is guns, artillery, and anti-air, and trucks. I forgot to do a focus, so let's inspect the troops for a good modifier. Maybe let's even divide the front line over here. We can also reduce the autonomy. Oh, we can actually annex a puppet. I'll do that. Extending the reach we need to garrison, but because I have more garrison units now than before, I might actually not mind that. Plus, I have more to be put there anyway, so there you go. Allowing me to subjugate another nation. And I think the bad news is you can only ask them once, so some saying no is super annoying and super unlucky, but I think I'm so strong now they will not say no anymore, so the rest we just get for free. But yeah, we have a very good defensive line and a really good industry too, so I think for the rest of the war we can just push them out and dominate. I will put my units out of the mountains here because it's very annoying to push, plus I don't want them to get any land over here. And we are still so early that the communists didn't even start. Oh no, they just started infiltration, and that's why we need a lot of political power, because we need to counter that. For a fun challenge for next week, I already played around with the communist Chinese quite a bit, and I know every time they do this they get a bit of influence in the faction. So for 2 reasons I want to counter this. Firstly, the influence. Secondly, I don't want them to have uprisings. So yeah, this over here also a nice modifier, but I gotta be honest, we need to do this. From many to one, adds faction goal, subjugate the faction to the Chinese United Front. Okay, that's good. I'll take it. Oh, new encirclement, by the way. Goodbye. And you see how hard they actually are to kill by me not instantly killing this encirclement. This is... fighting the Japanese is actually not that easy. It might look easy now, but it's because we did a lot of preparations and I was super careful. Most of the time I win because they're stupid enough to unentrench themselves themselves, and then I can just do stuff like this and push them out. And even then, it's just barely. Look how long this takes. But yeah, they're finally collapsing. Still very stubborn. Goodbye. Coast Guard, please protect us. Losses right now about to be 420 on my side, and we did quite a bit more to them. Not double, but also not too far away from double. And the funniest thing is, we won quote-unquote so early in this theater here that I couldn't even utilize my biggest trick that we get when the World War starts. And it hasn't started yet. This is all pre-World War II. We basically pushed them back to Beijing, which of course we'll try to do right now for real. And they're doing another naval landing. Down here now. Okay, actually, I don't want them to have this, so just help. Oh, there's a lot of Japanese. What is going on? Now I need to concentrate on two fronts, because you might notice I'm doing something over here. At the same time, they're doing also stuff. So we'll also go down a professional army, because we can't even do a popular army, because we don't have 1 million men in the field. We don't have that yet. But I like this more anyways, because we have quite a professional army. That's what I kind of went for, which is, you know, weird for China. But in my opinion, it is the better approach than endless wave attacks. It brings you forward quicker. Over here, we did also counter the naval landing, so we'll just kill this man now. Goodbye. This encirclement also worked, so I'm gonna finish this, get rid of these troops. There's actually also a tank in here, that's very beautiful. And then we push for Beijing. Actually, in the background, this is free, so might do some pins and push through there. Yep, we got the port. Okay, I take it back. We just take Beijing and encircle this. The main reason I can do this is because there's 1 dude per province. If there would be 2 dudes per province, this would be a lot harder. A lot. So we gain most of the supply ups in the region. I would say we do a very aggressive push now, because we have the guns, and every time we push, we gain industry and manpower. So we might gain more than we lose by just pushing. Might. Emphasis on might. Next puppet joins us. Another naval invasion. Yeah, that is becoming more tricky now, because this thins out. I might want to do... Oh, so many puppet units. Please just go away. I might want to do more troops in the background to kind of counter this. Ooh, they might actually get this port. Yeah. The Japanese are still not weak. We are winning, we are dominating, but let's not pretend like this is one. The good thing is I don't care if it's not one yet, because I still have so much reforms to do for my faction anyways. And of course I do a naval invasion over here now. That's the downside of an early push like this. Over here we spread them very thin, so that less space for naval invasions. Now, I mean, not now, but when they were just in Beijing, they had less front lines, so they could prepare more naval invasions. Generally speaking, a wider front line is good for us, and a thinner front line might actually be bad, because we free capacity for them to naval invade. Anyways, this guy cannot have 2 sons. We get war support. We increase, that's finally written, we increase the faction influence of communist China by -10%. So we decrease the influence and everyone else's influence. Okay, very cool. No, we don't decrease it. We increase it by a negative value. Aha, very cool. Also important, we have to decrease this infiltration. For the sole reason, not just that they gain influence, that is, you know, also the thing, but when it reaches level 3, it becomes very expensive to reduce, so we don't want that. Okay, they've become a bit afraid because we encircle them in the north. I say let them be and push them from both sides. We can also reduce influence with our puppets and make it cheaper that we can integrate them. So let's start with a 2 in the north. Danger is over here. They are landing. In the background, the World War has started, meaning something very, very important. We can use our favorite old strategy of getting guns and equipment by e-bagging the Middle East. Yeah, DLC or no DLC, I am pretty sure this works. I was scared it doesn't work with the DLC. No, it still does. So without DLC, I know it works. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. First, of course, making a lot of new units, quote unquote. Then going to request a land lease and asking for all equipment we need. Okay, mostly just guns, I guess. This. They even give us anti-air. Beautiful. Yeah, and the main thing we have a big negative of. Saudi Arabia giving us good amount. Same as Afghanistan. Turkey a lot. Iran a lot. And Iraq a little bit. I like it. And with Belgium capitulated, our negative modifier for the 9 power treaty, where we basically give resources to Europe, it becomes less bad. I wonder why. You know, maybe this is not a bad thing for us, right? Maybe them losing a bit over there is good for us in China. And with all of these focuses done, we can now reduce the power by a lot, and we can cheaply integrate them. Yeah, maybe I should have waited a bit. I will also still reduce the communist influence, and maybe do this to reduce their power a bit, and we can demonstrate our resolve in China. It's a very short focus. I've not done it yet, because most of the time when I can do this, or want to do this, I have already won, but I guess we can do it. Basically, we unlock decisions to hold provinces, and if we hold them, we reduce the autonomy of our puppets. So yeah, that is kind of nice. France capitulated, making this modifier again better. Beautiful. Thank you, France. And again, a naval invasion. They actually have some defense now, so they can't just easily land, but it do be annoying. We can demonstrate our resolve here and here, meaning if we're holding it for 90 days, we get a bonus. If we don't, we lose war support. They do be trying the best to push us out, but we do have anti-air, so we shoot down a lot of the planes. And I think they're generally running out of planes now. I would say at this point, let's just bypass the 3-year plan. Yeah, it's a nice bonus for 3 years, but I would like to go down industry stuff. We also like the Soviet Union, so I will do this. Not because this bonus is great. It is decent. It's kind of nice. But the really good bonus is down here, where we research industry stuff quicker, which we need to catch up anyways, and get a better economy, which we need. Okay, after a while, we can actually ask again. So the Guangxi clique said yes now. So yeah, we can just diplomatically integrate them all. That is super good news. I'm actually not sure if these over here reset the possibility to ask them again. But if yes, yeah, I don't mind. Now I'm strong enough, they should always say yes. Still sucks that I lost so much early on, but better than what we had before. Anyways, let's ask for more guns. Let's go. The old strat is still strong. E-begging. And sometimes I still have some little rest here. That's a bug. You just cancel that and put in new demands. And then you get a lot of guns. And because the Middle East is right next to us, we don't need any convoys. And the Soviet Union, oh, it also gives us so much. We also have a modifier now for cheaper gun production. So overall, we should just dominate, even though we need to import more and more resources, because China doesn't have one thing, and that's resources. We are really starved on that. And at the beginning, it doesn't matter because we have nothing. Some warlords, of course, have stuff, but most of the time we look kinda empty. So the way to fix that is via the industrial path, where you get a bit of coal and decisions to prosper for more. Same over here with steel and tungsten, but yeah, this is a luxury problem, so I didn't really prioritize this. Now that we actually have an industry, resources would be nice, so I'm going down the resource focuses. Who doesn't love it? New day, new naval invasion. Yeah, they're just spamming now. I totally forgot about it, but let's add the artillery, which means I should add a lot more artillery to my production. Over here, let's do steel, then coal, because that's the resources we are importing the most. And over here, let's fight back the communists, because if they get 3 levels, it costs me 100 to fight them back, and I don't like that. Okay, they conquered this here for a while, but I just permanently pushed against them, and now they're out. I gotta protect my coast better. That is important. They're also big in the back line here, but once we get this, we have supply in Korea, and this is already won anyway. So yeah, probably late 1941, and we win the China war against Japan. There's still the other China, you know. But so far, they're getting no help. I am completely countering all of their efforts to stay in control. This warlord, by the way, said no to being integrated. You're on my radar now. But yeah, gotta say, this is pretty reliable, especially with the big push over here. E-bagging the Middle East is still a very viable strat, because I lost a lot of guns, okay? I lost a lot of guns. I don't care. Once I only have to hold the coast, I don't need to have all of this attrition. But the amount of factories I gain from this is enormous. I'm at 67 right now. Yes, you can write 6-7 into the comments now. This is your moment. Versus the maybe at best, and we know it's not like that, 50 mils from Japan. So we already have more manpower and can outproduce them now. So it is really not looking good for them. And yeah, in the background, Manchu just died. Few more units, but overall, they're gone. And Japan joined World War II. So they're just cooked now. It is literally, it is over for them. I can even get some more land on here, maybe. Let's see. And yeah, peace. I'll take it. We have won this war. I think there will be another war very soon in China, but how I'm currently holding out, and Communist China got most of this in our timeline, controlling most of the north. Them getting 0 land is bad news. This is bad news for them. Funnily enough, I even get to keep this province over here. And yeah, for me, it's more about chilling now, using my command power to integrate more and more of the warlords, and also going down the focus for unification. I would say let's get victory over the invaders for more command power and a lot of experience. I also finally got myself a new research slot, so yay, F3 in 1941, about to hit 1942. Great. And if you ask yourself why I haven't integrated more of my puppets, it's because I spent most of my political power just hammering down all of the insurgents. I could already integrate way more warlords, I just can't afford it. It's 300. And as soon as I get rid of these pesky uprisings, meaning the Soviets themselves, we should have an easy time, and they left the faction. So I could just do this, but to be fair, we have this focus over here. We can just get a war goal, so let's do it. It would have also kicked them out of the faction. I saw that before, so that is good, because there's other focuses I've seen where they don't get kicked off the faction with other Chinese stuff. Might come back to this in another video. Iran is about to disappear. Rip Iran. Thank you for your help, by the way. They sent a lot of guns. I might have weakened them a bit with that. Yeah, they're also justifying against us, but you know what? I will be first. I will also go down this year. Request that core territories be transferred to our custody if they're not owned by us or their owner is not aligned. So imagine this allows us to ask for the states from the other warlords. Anyways, I'll be doing watching this, I'll be inviting all of the surrounding warlords so we can immediately go in. I hope they don't join the common turn, and I hope we can just win this. As long as they don't join a faction, we should be fine. Please. Yeah, it's very slow, but we are pushing them out just because we have the equipment mostly. They have 5 to 9 mils, and we have like... We're 1 away from a good amount. We also finished that focus. Research slot. Yep, I'll take that. And yeah, look at all of the warlords we can already annex. I'm just gonna annex someone because it doesn't matter. I can finally use my political power for something, which is crazy. I do gotta say this goes on for way too long. Yeah, this goes for quite a while now. They're just spamming last stand. Some of them just don't get called into the battle. If I would get either of these provinces, I would win. Because then I can start to encircle them. But every time I'm about to get it, they just reinforce. Oh, no, I actually got it. Okay, complaining helps. Complaining helps. Great, 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 great. Now this is about to die. With Cass, this would have been done in a second. But yeah, everything goes to death now because they can't run anywhere. This was horrible. How much men have I lost? This is more men lost than against the Japanese. What is this? This one province cost me more death than the entire Japan war. And to another last stand. But yeah, I don't care about men anymore. Just end the civil war, please. And integrate my nations in the background. Thank you. This was crazy. This was actually crazy. It is over. Actually, it's not. This guy's still around. Not sure how to get him, but I'll take the political power and the non-aligned support. Yeah, and I don't know what to do with this warlord. I can't even kick him out of the faction. That is so stupid. But yeah, I think the easy fix would be that you can just ask again. Okay, I got a little bit of help from the enforcer guy. Love goes out to you. Who explained to me that, yeah, you can kick him out of the faction. And I didn't know you could do this, but right now I can't kick him out because of my faction laws. But if I go to my faction laws, I can just click this again, remove it. Now I have no faction laws on who to kick out. And now I can just kick him out, meaning I can justify on him. My god, that is kind of stupid. It's good that you can change the law. That is good. I don't mean that. I mean that you apparently can't ever ask them again after, I guess, the 2 times you get. With the first time when they join the faction, the second time when you make it cheaper. I hope they make it so that you can always ask them and just lose political power and faction influence when they say no, which is punishing enough. It really is. Right now I'm doing no focuses just because I am missing political power. But I am so close in uniting all of this, okay? I am so close. Hey, war is done. I can't declare the war because... Oh, okay, I had to choose for a second. Okay, good. I am traumatized. This is not a long recording, but it feels like obstacles are everywhere. Please don't join any faction. Please, 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 please. Oh, I got him. Good, 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 good. Beautiful. I just noticed I have a core over here. Gonna come for that. Maybe because I saw there's actually an achievement I can do. It has to do with owning all your cores. So I'm sorry, Tibet. This is nothing personal. This is just good videos. And yes, there's a focus for that, but I don't want to do that because I need my political power. So goodbye, Tibet. Once again, please don't join any faction. Please, 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 please. I'm also excavating all of the coal up here now that I have some political power because I need coal. I really do. Also, Germany's pretty dominating over here. I guess good for Germany. Every time I don't need them to be good, they actually do good. Rude. That is Tibet gone. And China United, right? Oh, actually, I know what we need. We need those 2 over here. We have a focus for that, but I don't know how likely it is they will say yes. So we'll improve relations with both. I hope that's enough, but we shall see. Because we have this focus over here where we ask them to give us the territory back. And if they say yes, we do actually get the achievement. If they say no, I am screwed. I also have a war goal against Mongolia now, but I'm fine. I don't need it. It's all right. Focus is done. And they say no. Oh my god. Actually, only Portugal said no. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna take Portugal. Got an achievement bump discounts. I got 2 things. Bam, 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 bam. I'm not involved the allies. I'm all involved Portugal. I gotta be honest, I didn't care for this and I don't have time to record more today. What I could do now to be super funny is declare war on Mongolia, defeat the Soviet Union together with the Germans. This way, Portugal would join the Comintern and not the allies. Just to prove my point there you go. They would join the Comintern. Therefore, I would not be afraid to fight the allies. But yeah, overall speaking, this was more supposed to be a guide on how to win the early game. If you really want me to, we can continue this in a stream, but it is Saturday today, and this video should come out tomorrow, Sunday, and if I fight another, I don't know, 3 hours to fight the Soviet Union through Siberia, this video won't happen. This was my division, at least at the end, but most of the time it looked like this, to be fair. But yeah, I love you all. Thank you all for watching. My supporters, as always, I'm super grateful, and everyone else who's just watching, you also help me a lot. Love you all. Until next time.